Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR prepping. You already know what time it is. Get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel where we just talk about emergency preparedness. We really just talk about what me and my family do for different emergency, catastrophic events, things that could come our way, natural disasters, you name it. And hopefully that helps you pop off your, desire to prepare for you and yours. Now, I want to talk about a subject that comes up quite a bit, comes up often on a lot of channels like this at some point, and that is discussing how to deal with folks that aren't prepared, right? We all know that there's millions of folks, millions of families that are not prepared. Lots of families live paycheck to paycheck. Not only that, but they don't prepare in general, right? They're not the type to stockpile a little extra. Maybe don't understand why it's important to stockpile a little extra. Maybe don't realize the importance yet of preparing for a natural disaster, different things that might happen in their town, to their home, to their family, and how to prepare. And so today we're going to talk about, how, I guess, what you should be worried about as somebody who prepares. So oftentimes people say, the first rule of prepping or being somebody who prepares is to not tell people that you prep. That is true. You should not be telling people you prep. And that people tell me all the time. Now, there's certain things I don't show on here, but people tell me all the time, you have a huge target on your back. You have a prepping channel where you talk about prepping and do this, and you're a target. People are coming after you. Like, how stupid can you be, right? And the thing that I say about that is, let's think that through a little bit. Let's just common sense, First of all, the chance or the numbers of folks that actually watch me, that actually live near me, okay, is very, very low. Then you take that and you take some sort of catastrophic event that happens where people now cannot travel, cannot go anywhere. It's hard for people to get around, to get stuff, unless they've done the research to find out where I'm at in the first place. They're never finding me. Okay, let's take that further. And you have a stalker. You have somebody who's actually done their legwork, hacked into my stuff, found out where I lived, all this stuff, right? And they just wrote my address down for a rainy day, right? Okay, again, a catastrophic event has happened. That person still has to make it to me. Two, they better bring 100, 200 people because they're not getting past anything that we have ready and waiting for them. So that's the thing. They're one person, maybe they're a family, maybe they have some buddies, but again, catastrophic event, getting all those people to get together, coming to my house, just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thought that could. It's not that it can't happen, but that's how it's going to happen. That's a ridiculous thought, okay? Because of all of the variables that will be happening during an SHTF. And the fact that they're taking care of their own families at that point. They're trying to just survive themselves in the moment, right? And the farther down we get that path of them, okay, now they're going to formulate some sort of way of, okay, it's time now. We've got a little bandit of group. We're going to go. And I know a house that probably has a lot of stuff. Let's go get her, right? Again, they're not getting, okay, sure. Whatever you feel like you want to try to do, okay? But that's ridiculous. What I think and my advisement to you is that you are going to have to worry about stuff much closer to you. You're going to have to worry about those neighbors, whether they saw you prepping or not, whether they were nosy and just saw you always bringing stuff in or not. You're going to have to worry about your neighbor, okay? Your neighbors that are not ready, that are not prepared as time goes on are going to get desperate. Maybe it's nice at first and them asking, hey, do you have anything? Can you help us? And again, they can know you are a prepper or they could not. It doesn't matter. In this moment in time, when you have a family that's not going to be able to provide for themselves, they're going to be reaching out, okay? And so it might be nice at first, like, could you please help us? Please help us. We need food. Do you have any cans of food? Do you have anything you can give us? Anything you guys don't eat, we'll take, right? Whatever. And then it turns to, trying to just take, okay, they know you have some chickens in the backyard. They're just going to try to do some kind of stealth, stuff at night and try to either take eggs or actually steal a chicken or whatever the case may be. Or they know you got a garden. Okay, babe, I'm going to hop their fence tonight and I'm going to get some tomatoes and I'm going to grab a couple containers. She does a lot of container stuff. I'm going to try to grab a couple things. That's the type of stuff you're going to have to worry about. People that you don't know, yes, coming in, whether it's 1, 2 people coming in, trying to hit houses for whatever they can find, food or supplies, tools, whatever it is that they're looking for and needing. You're gonna have to deal with that, right? And the other group of people, besides your neighbors, your immediate people that just are around you, and those immediate threats of like criminals and stuff and thieves, is your friends and family, people that maybe you have opened your mouth, you have mentioned, hey, have you prepared? Are you stockpiling? Things are getting bad. Have you stockpiled some medicine? Have you got some water and food in your house? You've mentioned it, and it doesn't matter if you've mentioned it one time, two times, or you mentioned it every time you saw them, or to this day you're still mentioning it. Those people remembered that, and those people are the people that you have to remember. I have to be worried again. This is again the variable of numbers, but there's so many people that over the years that I've worked with in the military that I mentioned, that I prepped. And there's been all types of jokes about, yeah, we're going to go to Rich and Tasha's house, right? We're going to go to their house and we're going to take all their stuff. Yeah, good luck with that, right? But they also know that we're trained and that we're ready and all that stuff. So it's a lot of joking and that type of stuff. But it's funny too how over the years things have changed. You have friends who joked about, well, we're just going to come and take your stuff, to friends who have actually said, hey, I got my bug out bag. I got some stuff, would it be okay if I come towards you? What stuff should I bring? Or they buy stuff and they send stuff and with the hopes that they can make it to us. Of course you have your group that you've already hopefully had conversations with, that they're coming here, and how are they contributing to what you're building and doing, right? This hair right here is just bothering the crap out of me in this video. Okay. So it's the intimate people. It's anybody that you've mentioned, especially if they're in town, they're close. They know where you live. They know where you stay. And you cannot just assume like, okay, well, it's family. Family won't do anything to me. We all know that family is not safe. Not all families get along. Families are evil. That's not just a given that, well, family's going to be good. That's not, that's not going to be safe for people. So how do you prepare? Well, you prepare by being ready to defend yourself, to building up your property and wherever you live, to deter people away from it, to make people take a look at it, glance at it, and be like, okay, this is not the place. This either you deterred them in a scary way, that's something that you've put out or you've done that scares them off. Maybe that's brandishing weapons. Maybe that's signs that say you have weapons, that say it's going to be a bad day if you enter. Maybe that's extra defensive things, right? I'm not gonna bars on the window, but everything's locked up. They try locks, there's no locks. There's lots of lighting. Maybe it's a grid down situation, but this house still has lots of enough lighting, enough grid down solar lighting, right? That solar lighting does enough, right? My whole garden has just little, well, I got some more little solar lighting, but that is just enough to just kind of, so like something as simple as I let the cat in and I can just pan, and just these garden lights alone, I can pan and I can see everything, and I can see shadows and I see movement and I can see stuff. And so it's important, and determined, and different things, having a sturdy fence, having trees and stuff, barriers up against that fence where they can't just hop the fence super easy, right? Or later it gets hardcore and you have some barbed wire. You make it difficult. They can see with their eyes that it's going to be difficult to get in. Yes, maybe they think, well, what is it that they're protecting? Okay. But at that point, I'm just trying to protect my family, right? So you have things that will deter them and make them not want to do this. Having security screens on the doors, and having a heavy duty door, and having all the windows locked and shut, and then having something over the windows, just anything, all of that stuff matters. Having gates, having locks, having extra locks. So, a lot of gates, you walk up to them and they could just unlock. Now it's locked. You can't get through. There's a lot of things that are deterrents. Dogs, simple things that you're going to deter and make that person think, I need to go to a different house. Skip this house, go to a different house. It's not worth it, right? Two-way stickers everywhere in the windows, whatever, okay? My point is deterrent, okay? And then barriers and defense. think about defense. On my Patreon yesterday, I don't talk about weapons on this platform because of censorship. And yesterday I finally was able to have my first conversation over there about my favorite defensive tools, things that we have, things that I think are important, different types that I think are important to have in your home. We talked a lot about non-lethal stuff, other options for 2A. So we had a great conversation over there. I have some really good experts, actually, way more than me, even though we have 20 years in the military. But my experience is very small with the specific stuff that I've had hands-on and used, right? And so I have some experts in the room that really have some other stuff and a lot of knowledge. So we had it's a good conversation over there on Patreon. If you haven't joined me over there, that's just another platform where I'm able to dive a little bit deeper. I can speak my mind. I can speak the way I want to 100%, and I can go down the rabbit hole in some situations. So come on over there. If there's a topic you want to talk about, hear about, and I haven't talked about it, get over there and then let me know and we'll discuss it. But defense, getting back to it, defense is the biggest thing that is going to be beneficial. Getting the stuff that you need now in your home, staging it in your home, understanding your threat levels of when you would engage other locks and other aspects like that barbed wire, or other aspects of actually carrying stuff on you, right? What do you do, right? Knowing your blind spots in your backyard, your barriers, things that people could hide behind, and keeping watch and being able to see. And if it's a grid down situation, how are you continuing to see? A lot of folks are going to assume that, grid down, average person is going to lose their security cameras. They're not going to have their security cameras. They're not going to be able to see. They're not going to have an alarm. All those windows and doors that have the little alarm things on them, they're not going to have that stuff. And so they know that. And so they're going to take advantage of that. But you deter them from that, right? The best that you can, okay? If you have a CCTV, something on a low level that you're able to hook up to your power source, right? And then you can see them. And then just like a ring or whatever, you can verbally say, hey, get away from the house, get away from that gate. I can see you, whatever the case may be. Or you can see them and you don't alert them that you have a security system, but you just meet them outside, if you know what I'm saying, and let them know, hey, I'm here. I know you're here. I see you. I'm armed. Go away. Okay. And so, that is going to be the biggest thing. And if you cannot do that, and what's crazy is it's going to be a huge scale that you're going to have to deal. It's not mobs, okay? Eventually it's mobs because people come together, they realize they need each other, and they're like, let's just start raiding, So you're going to have that eventually. But at first, it's just a mob of individual families asking for help, individual neighbors, individual onesie-twosies trying to hop the fence and grab stuff. At this point, everything needs to be inside that's possible. You need to harvest everything that you can be harvested every day. There's no letting stuff just get real ripe on the vine. You need to harvest stuff. If you got chickens, you got to lock it up. You got livestock, you got to lock it up. Whatever it is, not leaving stuff out that could be of value because people are going to get desperate. And it's not just food. It's what can I steal that I could then trade or barter or sell in order to get something. Total collapse of the dollar is going to be chaotic, right? And everybody is going to be panicked. How do they live? How do they provide for their families? How do they feed their families? How do they get water? How do they get these things, right? And people are going to be in a desperate time, okay? And a lot of people are not ready, and that's what you have to get ready for. But it's that immediate circle that you have to worry about first. It's those friends and family. And the thing is this is what I try to do with people who are my actual friends, and that there's a chance, or there's already a plan for them to come to me. And it's how can you contribute now, right? Either you're telling them stuff that they could be purchasing now, that is added to the preps, the communal preps that they're bringing here, or they're giving you money every month and you're using that money to then buy preps, buy food, buy stuff for them because you're preparing for them to come. Those conversations have to be had. You cannot just have people like, oh, well, your family, you can come. No, how are you contributing to this, right? And some of them don't know what to do, or so it's, hey, I need some kick down then. I need some money so that I can continue to prepare for you in that way. If it's family that's laughing at you, that's saying you're crazy, it's fine. You need to prepare for the defense, because that family is coming. They know that you've asked them, how are they with their prepping as far as getting some extra food, water, meds. They know you've asked that stuff, and they're going to come. And they're either going to come and trying to be in a loving way, like, what do you have? Or they're going to come in an evil way of, I'm going to take what you have because I know you must have something because you've been trying to get me to prep all these years. Okay. Not to mention all these neighbors that are around you. There's going to be little neighborhoods that band together. And I think at first too, you have natural instinct is to help people. And so you're going to have communities that band together, little neighborhoods that band together, neighbors that band together. If things have been planned out, plans, right, to all watch each other's back and watch, right, together as one. And that is the best way to do it. But because if you don't, and it's every man for himself, it's just going to be just that. And you have to be prepared, whether they've seen stuff or not. Because you can say all day, well, I have never told anybody I've prepped. Nobody knows I have anything. I'm super secretive. The neighbors haven't seen anything, nothing. But at the end of the day, somebody who hasn't prepared, that doesn't matter. They don't care that they know or don't know. The point is that you are a source that could have something that they want. You could have food, you could have water, you could have meds, you could have supplies, tools, something that they need. They have babies, you could have some infant stuff in there, right? They don't know. All they know is they need to get in there and check it out and take what they can, right? And so you have to be ready to prepare yourself for that, whether they're nicely asking for it or if they are trying later to take it from you as soon as you leave the house, or at nighttime, or sometime when they think you're vulnerable, right? Try to tag team you. It's important. A head on a swivel, that whole saying is going to be hardcore. The minute something happens, catastrophic event, we have threat con levels in this house where if certain things happen, that's it. We're locked and loaded. We're ready to go. We start batting down the hatches here, meaning extra locks are going on. Different things are being closed up. It's, certain things are being brought in, right? And so that is important. The level of security goes up as far as the garden, as far as the animals, everything, okay? And so this whole level of deterrence comes into play as far as staging and deterring people to just leave us alone. This is the house you're not trying to walk up on. You're not trying to check the doors, and you check the door, you're not trying to go in, okay? It clearly says that they are armed. Do you want to take your chances or not? Is it worth that there might be something in there that you want? You know, when somebody is clearly telling you that they're going to harm you if you come into their space, and again, people understand some of that stuff is fake. That's not real. That's a bluff. Okay. Call it if you want. That's all I got to say. Call the bluff if you want. But you have got to worry about when things go left, your neighbors. You're not trusting. Maybe you had a whole pact too with your neighborhood and you come together. And that's beautiful. And we're fans of that, right? Of a community, of a neighborhood coming together. We're also fans of not showing our full cards, okay? You're not seeing everything we got over here, baby. As far as our level of preparedness, our level of what we can contribute, we will be part of the team. We would be part of a community. That's okay. We understand the importance of all of that. But there's still that level of privacy that you need to maintain, and not just letting, oh, we're one big happy family. We're one great neighborhood. Hey, come in. I've got this. We're prepared. We just all need to come together and do this, and this. And then before you know it, you got a couple people, they don't want to do that. What do you mean watches? What do you mean do this, do that? What do you mean rations? What do you mean, the nerve? It's not even your food and you're going to be upset about rations. And now it's a problem. And now you have somebody in the group that's seen everything, knows everything, can take advantage of that intel, right? So it's just, those are the people you have to be worried about, is your neighbor. And preparing against your neighbor, we get along with all the neighbors here. All the neighbors, especially hubby. They love hubby. Everybody loves hubby. But I don't trust them as far as I could throw them. Absolutely not. I know their skill sets. I know what they can do. I know what they like to do. I know what they did. A bunch of people retired around here. I know what they used to do. I I know a lot of stuff, right? And if we had to come together to some situation, there's a lot of stuff that we have already discussed. But at the end of the day, I trust no one, right? Have a group of people that are supposed to come here and make it. And if they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. But the plan is in place. That's our tribe. That's our group of people. And that's what we need. I'm telling you right now, it's not these big groups of raiders. It's not these big groups of marauders. Not at first. Can you live in the city? Can that stuff happen much quicker? Yes, absolutely. But you've got time if you live a little ways out. You've got time even in a suburban area. You just have to worry about those immediate threats. And that's neighbors, that's people that live near you, and that's your friends and family. That's your acquaintances. That's anybody that you've ever opened your mouth about preparedness to. Anybody, okay? If they are local, then it's a problem. You know, if you have a channel like this, is there some level of preparedness against that, against somebody coming to attack us someday that has seen this and thought, oh, they must have all this stuff? Sure. Is that a threat? Absolutely. You know, and we're ready for that. We've been ready for that for years, just because I've been doing this for years, right? But it's important that those immediate threats are what you prepare for. Okay, because that's the stuff that can really hurt you, because they're close enough to do so. You know, catastrophic event. I'm not worried about some nutso in Florida that was stalking me and is like, I'm gonna go get all her stuff when SHTF. You know what I'm saying? And that person has to make it all, you know, on foot across all of the United States to get to me. And then on top of that, I had to have an address. And then, is the address even real? Is it even current? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot to bet on. That's a big bet. That's a long bet. Improbable good outcome type of bet, right? So, and then on top of that, you get all those variables right, and you show up and you think it's going to be, you know, a walk in the park. Nah, you're going to earn it today. Okay. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week. The sun is coming out, so I'm hoping that it stays out. We can get some work done today. I hope you guys are well, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Take care. Bye.